I had a dream. I did not have an awesome dream. I saw the planet the size of Mars drop an EMP and disable your cars. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be so light because I trying to be funny, but at the same time I'm going, you know, if so many of my dreams didn't come true, why even bother people with this? It might cause undue fear or, concern. But I've had an awful lot of my dreams come true. And I got this one a few days ago. I've been holding out. I got it the 29th, Saturday the 29th. Been holding out for a couple days. And of course, when I wake up and I get these things, I know you better email yourself. It's 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Email yourself this while I get up and take a pee or something, so that I don't forget any of it. But the time I go back to sleep and wake up and go, oh wait, damn it, what was that dream I had? Oh, and then I'm like realizing it was important. I should have remembered it. So the good news is I pretty much remembered this anyways. But I'm just looking at my email going, yep, okay. So I'm in this dream. Now, first let me say this. Okay, so I'm at this dream. I feel like I'm echoing a little bit. Let me close that door. So this dream and other dreams, not I don't mean all other ones, but a number of dreams that I've had, Spirit will put me in my old apartment complex where I grew up as a kid over here in Florida. And not that I've had a lot of dreams where I'm at the apartment complex. I did have some. So typically I say, if they're going to show me myself in my apartment complex, pay attention. It's not just a fun dream. Like, they're telling you something. But I don't even need them to do that. Like, I already know, they're giving me something, and I don't have to be at the apartment complex. So I'm not sure why they do that for me sometimes. Like, they put me back in my place where I grew up. And of all the dreams that I've had at this apartment complex, I've never, as far as I recall, I'm pretty sure, I've never had one where I was actually at the apartment I lived in. Like, the apartment. Like the old number that I remember living at. And I was somewhere in the apartment complex. This time I'm at that apartment. The one I grew up from the time I was probably like 8 or 9 till 17. And we moved from another apartment within the complex to this one. It was a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom because me and my sister were like 7 or 8. It's like, okay, you can't share a room anymore. Like, kind of need your own space. So that's when we moved into this apartment. Same apartment complex. Okay, so now, back to my dream. I'm at the apartment I grew up in. And I had 3 4-wheelers in this dream. And by the way, in real life, I have 3 4-wheelers. I had a couple more that were older used ones that when I bought these new ones, I ended up listing those 2 used ones for sale, and I got rid of those. So, in real life, I have 3 4-wheelers, okay? And in this dream, I'm at that apartment, and I have 3 4-wheelers. And we took them just a few miles away, and we actually drove them there. Or I take that back. Did we drive them there? I don't remember how we got them there. We may have driven the 4-wheelers, or we may have even put them on a trailer and took them up to there. But it was like a picnic place. Me, my family, friends, their kids, just hey, it's a nice day outside. We're going to this like little picnic, outdoor little park thing, And anyways, we got the 3 4-wheelers there. And something happened. I'm like, I got to run home for a minute. And I'm like, the vehicle's probably already attached to the trailer and all that. I'm going, I'm just going to take one of these 4-wheelers home. It's not that far. I'm going to get on the sidewalk, hopefully the cop doesn't stop me, whatever. And so I get back to the apartment, and I don't know what I needed from the apartment, but whatever it is, I'm back outside, and it starts to get really dark. A weird kind of dark, like it's getting nighttime, but it's middle of the day. So I step off the porch, and I'm looking up and out. This would have been to the east, by the way I was looking. Yeah, east. And I see an absolutely enormous planet-like body that I'm looking, oh my God, it's a planet. Oh my God, it's just it's there. It is. It's huge, and it's coming slowly but surely right at the Earth, and it's now blocking out most of the visible light. So it's pretty much getting dark because of this planet. I know up to the top left, so that'd be kind of northeast, I see the moon. And it's easier to see now that this thing's coming and blocking out more light. And I'm staring at this. I can't believe what I'm looking at. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to end up crashing into Earth. And I'm thinking, well, what happens when it hits the atmosphere? Is it just going to go right through it like nothing? Is it going to actually collide with, dirt to dirt, so to speak, ground to ground, their ground and our ground, or the two atmospheres? Does that thing even have an atmosphere? I'm looking at it, all these thoughts are running through my head. So it's kind of this brownish, slightly reddish ground that I can see. It's so close to the Earth. Like, I forget how many millions of miles away is the moon or whatever. This thing is like, 500 miles away outside of the Earth, call it Earth's, atmosphere, whatever, when space, starts, if you will. Like, a few hundred miles at best. It's that effing close. So you can imagine, I can see mountain ranges on this thing. I see the terrain. I'm noticing there's no snow caps, there's nothing like that. I don't really see any water. It's just a big, call it a big crusty ball, if you will. And I noticed the mountainous, rigid thing, and as I looked at it more and more, I'm like, well, the whole planet kind of looks like that. Like, that's what the planet is. Unlike Earth, where we have peaks and mountains and snow and water and all that. Like, I didn't really see water on this planet. Or this body. I keep calling it a planet, but it could have been in some celestial body that is sphere-like and effing huge. And so I'm watching this thing, I'm now a few feet away from the apartment, staring right out there on the sidewalk, four-wheelers like right next to me. I'm looking up, and I'm like, just all these thoughts. And all of a sudden, and the planet never rotated, it didn't spin, it was just one, just like the moon, it was just still. Coming in, coming in, coming in, slowly but surely, like it wasn't speeding or anything like you think a comet or something, it was not like that. Very slowly coming in, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, is it going to hit the atmosphere? What's going to happen? And it started to react. And that's when I thought, oh, it's actually hitting the atmosphere. This thing could explode, causing an absolute devastating, explosion. And all of a sudden, so as it's coming in, all of a sudden it starts shifting. It starts spinning. Not in a circle like they show Earth doing, but more like top to bottom, right? So more of a, instead of a, I guess that'd be a horizontal spin, this would have been a vertical spin. And so it's coming in like, at me like this, and then it twists like this towards me. I'm not sure how many degrees, but it's maybe 45, maybe 90, I'm not sure. And I'm like, oh wow. And then all of a sudden, like, it does this thing where I'm thinking, okay, now it's hitting the atmosphere. And I just see this massive shock wave, as you can imagine, bigger than anything anyone's ever seen ever. And I'm going, oh my God, like, the planet. It's hitting the atmosphere. It's going to cause this. I can see it. Massive shock wave. And my instant thought is, when's that going to hit the ground and then just, wipe stuff out? And all of a sudden, as it does that explosion, the whole thing disappears. Planet thing is gone, just disappears. But that shock wave came, and then I go, oh my God, this is ET. They just sent an EMP, electromagnetic pulse. It was a planet-looking thing. It did its job, and as it exploded, it went away. So it never really collided with Earth. This is my dream. Massive EMP. So I'm at the point, I'm like, oh, when's it going to hit? And I'm thinking, is it a blast? Or what is it? All of a sudden, because again, the street lights and everything had come on because of the darkness. So as that thing exploded, causing this massive... Because when you see it, you don't know. It looks like an explosion. It doesn't mean it's an EMP. It's just a giant explosion. Imagine a nuclear bomb going off. It's just going to explode, and you're going to see that, wave hit stuff and knock stuff out, right? So I'm at that point in time, I'm still thinking this is an explosion of this planet thing. But then it just disappeared. I'm going, what the hell? Where'd it go? Like, what is that about? And why did it tilt and then do the explosion? And I'm going, planets wouldn't do that. This is technology. Oh my God, I think it's ET. Like, this rapidly comes to my brain thoughts in the dream. And right at that same time, streetlights, fast, turning off, and they were on because of the thing. And they don't just kick back off quickly. So it's like they need a bit of sunlight, I guess, before they finally kick off automatically. And I could just tell. I just saw down the street power getting shut off. Streetlights, power outage, complete blackout. But it's again broad daylight. It was dark because of the planet. Now the planet's gone, it's back daylight again. But I was able to see the electricity is out. Out. And it isn't like, okay, it's out for 10 seconds, now it's back on. No. It's out. And I'm like, oh my God, EMP. It was an EMP. It wasn't a planetary thing hitting us, explosion. It's an effing EMP, and the thing turned. Oh my God, is this ET? Like, all these thoughts came in. It was ET. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, oh my God, please start, four-wheeler. I know it's only a few miles away, but a few miles to go get my family in safety. I need to get over there now. So I start the four-wheeler. Oh my God, it starts up fine. Thank God. And I'm thinking, do I get on the street and just haul ass on the four-wheeler, or do I take that sidewalk again? And my brain's like, well, there's probably some dumbass police officer who's gonna stop you. No, sir, it's illegal to be riding. I'm gonna have to write you to dude. We have a effing blackout. Yeah, but it was just no power company will fix it. That doesn't give you any right to drive on the street. I'm thinking I'm gonna get some bozo, and I'm going, my family's most important. Take the sidewalk. It's no. What's the difference? You're on a four-wheeler. You can go fast on the sidewalk. So I take the sidewalk. And I'm going, and pretty quickly I realized there's not really any cars on the street. If there's any cars, there are so few and far in between. Like, something's wrong. There should be way more cars in the street. So I'm noticing there's a lot of activity on the sidewalk. A lot of people walking. A lot of people on like little electric scooter things. Like the not let's just say electric, regular scooters like mopeds that you'd find in a slow lane going 50 or 40 mile an hour. Those kind of mopeds. I think I passed a side by side, another four-wheeler. Like, I'm like, whoa, everyone's kind of doing this, and there's not really anything happening on the street. Where are the cars? So again, EMP cars, which again, a four-wheeler is electronic too. But again, I think I was just being shown these things for a reason, the way it happened in the dream. So I get over back to the camp, the place where, not a camp really, but the picnic place. And, it's like I've got to get everybody, get my family. We had the 3 4-wheelers, 2, 4, 6. That's my whole family. We can get on the 4-wheelers and head back home. And I'm thinking to myself, and I was thinking about this before I even left the apartment to go get my family on the 4-wheeler and then have them get on the other 4-wheelers. Because, I'm like, the car's not going to start. There's no cars in the streets. So the cars, for whatever reason, are more sensitive. They got wiped out by the EMP, whatever. So, their electronics got wiped out by the EMP. So before I even left the apartment, I remember thinking to myself, do not start that generator. You got plenty of fuel in it, which I do in real life, diesel generator. It's almost filled up to the top. It's like probably 85% full in real life. But in the dream, I had the same generator. It was a diesel generator, the same one I have here. I knew I owned it, even though I would not have that big thing in the apartment complex. I couldn't even hook the thing up. But I knew, do not run that thing until you absolutely need to run it. Only use that thing when you really, really start needing to use it. Do not just, the power might come on in a few days. I've got, 4 or 5 days worth of fuel. I'm good. Just use it now. No. You better savor, or whatever you want to call it, save the fuel. And don't be raw. It's a little warm outside. Let's kick the air conditioners on. Let's run that generator. No. You run that generator to keep your freezer things going if you have food like that needs to save. But even then, I was thinking that food could go to waste. I don't care. I've got my canned goods, my stored stuff that doesn't need to be frozen or refrigerated. I would just let it all go bad and only use the generator when I absolutely had to. That was my thought. All right, now I got to get my family. Don't use that generator even when I come back. So I had that dream. And I'm like, So there's a guy that I had followed initially on Twitter, and then he started a Patreon page recently. He was charging like $44 a month, and this guy was putting together like all these signs of like, you know, stars and top people on Twitter posting stuff, and he's like, look, they're communicating with Geomatra and the 22 and the 193 and this and that, and he would like put these decodes together and like, yeah, he might be on to something. So he's like, I can't be public here, guys. I got to go to Patreon. So as soon as he goes to Patreon, now this is, the dream's over, okay, you know. So as soon as he goes to Patreon, I went on, you know, I went ahead and signed up a short while later, and he only put a few posts out, and then all of a sudden he's like, my life's in danger, guys. One of you guys leaked this out, this decode I did recently, and this has caused a world of problems for me. I'm in serious trouble. I have to stop. I've got to stop posting right now. Probably gonna have to shut down my Patreon account, and I'm gonna have to leave the country fast. And I don't know which country he was in. I don't think he was in America. I'm pretty sure. So who the hell knows what that was about? And he goes, and the last post he made just the other day was about the final post. He goes, guys, listen, I told you I'm not posting anymore. Come February 1st, when Patreon charges you guys for the next month, understand I'm not going to be posting anything. I'll be closing my Patreon probably around the 5th or 6th of the month. I'm only doing that because I don't have a job right now, and I was going to do this and earn the money. He goes, but I have to flee the country now. I need every penny I can get. And it'd be real nice if you guys let me charge you one more time through Patreon and just stay, even though I'm not going to provide you any more info because I need the money and I can't post. So I thought to myself, I'm going to stay. I'll give him this $44 or whatever. But the final post he did was about, I think it was it February 15th or March 15th? And it's something about a blackout. And I'm like, oh, come on. So if you give me a second, I'm sure his thing is still up. I'll just, you know, go to it, and I'll just pause this video for a second. Okay, so yeah, 2/15 blackout, as in February 15th. February 15th is a 46th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. 319 days remain until the end of the year. And he's got this huge thing about 193 or any combination of 1, 9, and 3, which 319 is a combination of it. And they typically mean a big, big event's going to be coming. And that's how the elite talk to each other. Anyway, that's some of the stuff he talked about. So he says, you know, he's leaving. Please, you know, pay me one last time, you know, so I can use the money. So yeah, February 4th for that reason. February 4th. Okay, so anyways, I just thought that was interesting as well. And again, the other thing about whatever this is, in my dream, I'm like, that's no planet. It just disappeared. It was made to look like a planet, like it was a fake out. Like, oh, a planet collided with Earth and caused this, but it's like, no, it started tilting, like, so that the weapon or whatever this was could blast the EMP towards us on Earth. So I've been holding on to this one for a few days, just really thinking about it. You sure it wasn't just a dream? And I'm going, no, I know better. And we've been waiting for blackouts, haven't we? So there's that. And that's all I got for you right now, but take that for whatever it's worth.